Look what the cat dragged in. Hi, Nick. Hola. We have made it to the Museum of Socialist Art, and all the signs are in Bulgarian. So Google Translate to the rescue. The propaganda posters are cool. They're very reflective. Sorry about that. We're in this one. I like the rest of the museums. This one's pretty small, but the statue park is cool. We were walking to go get dinner from the little museum, and we stumbled across this park. It's kind of nice. Review.
El parque.
Perfect. It's like an abandoned monument. There's a little bit more pizzazz to the front. By far my favorite statue, Mr. Happy Bear and his penguin friends. Google Maps has brought us a really silly way on our way back to the Airbnb. This is the worst route I've ever seen in my life, Google Maps. This is terrible. We have made it to the mining museum. The West Virginia of Bulgaria, as I'm now calling it.
Това са разчитали на него.
We're on our way to go visit a monastery, and we're coming up on the Rila Mountains. This road through the mountains has cool waterfalls. We made it to the Rila Monastery. We had to park down the road and walk up the side. The icon gallery seems a little shut. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to take any pictures or videos in the museum. We've gone up in the tower. Nothing has told me I can't take a video. This building is the oldest building here, built in 1335. Ha ha ha. Swords and guns to protect the monastery from other people, which is interesting. Found the toilet. It's a long way down. We accidentally bit off more than we could chew at the bread press. Roadside waterfall. We are at the Mother Bulgaria monument. It is very scenery. This is my mom. That's Nick. This is crazy. The floating concrete. We did not expect Bulgaria to look like this, but it's nice. There's snow up here on the road, and I'm gonna need to downshift. So, oh wait, no, we'll just clutch in so you can see the little waterfall. We have a random roadside stone monument. We just got to our hotel in Montana. There's a few blockhouses around here. And our rental car. Okay, hotel room tour. There's a reason why. We got the bed, the 2 twin beds. But most importantly, okay, you come in here, you got your toilet, you got your sink. Why is the shower just there? Why is it like this? Europe, why are you like this sometimes? We are about to go get some dinner.
Why can't the window be it?
We got dinner. Nick's just broke his fork, but he can have mine. He got the cheese fries, right? And then I got a burger, but also the gyro sounded good. So I just got both. So it looks like I ordered food for both of us, but actually this is all just mine. So we went to the T-Mart, which is the grocery store across the street from the hotel after we got dinner. These are for Nick, because I'm a good boy. I got the bitter chocolate, and then I wanted a mango cider, because that sounded cool. And a bunch of juices, and then Nick was like, I don't drink water, so I gotta have Coca-Cola with dinner. And
Toilet paper.
he's really been on one about the toilet paper in this country. Welcome to Baba Vita Fortress. It's a new day, and we're gonna go to a fortress, a cave, and then a fortress again. We are
Baba.
and on the Danube River near the border of Romania. Let's go. There it is, the Baba something fortress. Ooh, and then the Danube. This is the worst video. I'm so sorry. We have implements and things. There you go. We have a little bit of history on old Saint Romiel, a man who was going to be married off and said, no, I'm a man of God. I imagine he just didn't like the lady that his parents picked for him. And he went to Mount Athos, which is high on my list of places I'd like to visit. It's really just a free-for-all in here. There are these metal gates. I wonder if those are supposed to be up. Because there's less like, I don't even know what this room is. There's no information anywhere. Also, ducking is encouraged. Imagine they just threw you in here from that hole up there, and then you found that door there. It was all barred. Interesting. I have no idea. This feels like a prison, but I have no idea. This was built in the 10th century after a Bulgarian king divided lands between his 3 daughters when he died. And one of the daughters, Vita, built this castle called now Baba Vita. Baba, I think, means grandma, so it's Grandma Vita's castle. It was here for a while, and then in the 1300s, it was used to defend against the Ottomans for a while. It was defending against the Byzantines for a while. And then it was part of Hungary for a minute. And then during the Ottoman rule, it was used as a munitions storage area. And then in the 18th century, they abandoned it. That is your quick backstory. Only 3 of the 9 original towers remain. And in the 1300s, it was also expanded upon. Just up here, cosplaying as guards in a medieval tower now. Nick noted that when you look up here, there's some old-timey nails just hanging out. Which means these wood structures here could be very old. I don't think the floor is, though. That looks like way more modern concrete.
Well, and they got metal bracing.
They had metal back then.
Like that?
I mean, they had that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like science. It's not right now, actually.
Got some monuments. And yeah, you can't see that one right now, but... And then when we come up the stairs, I'm going to say you can see the fortress, but you really can't. It's back over there. But it's kind of hidden by the trees. You can see the wall. Back in the car. Next stop, Magura Cave. See you in an hour. On our way to the caves. They found a decapitated Roman woman's skeleton in this part of the cave. Unfortunately, the coolest part of the cave, which is the cave paintings, is closed. So sad. They call this the city of Baghdad for some reason, which is an interesting name that both Nick and I really appreciate. First time I've ever seen a stalagmite with a middle bit that doesn't connect to the top or the bottom. There's no mountains here, just a lake.
I guess on that one.
Oh, maybe one over there. Okay.
So did we take the staircase? Or did we take that way?
This is not my favorite cave I've ever been to for a number of reasons. One, it looks just like Mammoth Cave on the inside, which is maybe not necessarily the most exciting cave. 2, they have these really cool multi-thousand-year-old cave paintings. But for some reason, on today, you can't go see them. They don't let you see any of them. And 3, at the end, you're about 1.5 miles away from where you parked. And they go, you can pay $3 per person to ride the little tram, which goes maybe running pace. There's a car coming behind me. Goes maybe running pace, or you can walk. And Nick and I chose to walk. But all in all, wouldn't recommend.
And the tour has no subtitles on any of their video content, so they make you watch it and then re-watch it in English.
Yeah, that was a fun time thing.
Which is horrible.
But that view's kind of nice. I don't regret anything, but I would never recommend it.
Oh yeah.
Nick got out to take this picture, but I didn't want to abandon the car. It's a very pretty view. We just made it to the Belogradchik Fortress, which apparently, according to this audio guide that I'm listening to, translates to Black Table Land Fortress. Very exciting. Actually very exciting. This seems like the most exciting thing we've done today. The fort was built to protect critical trade routes. So this fortress was used from the 10th century forward in pretty much every Bulgarian conflict within this region. It was in the Turkish-Russian War. It was used as the Ottoman, or during the Ottoman Empire to defend trade routes. It was used before that to defend trade routes. Just big, important thing, right? It even had a role in World War II. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I'm in the you're not supposed to be in area right now, but there was no rope over here. So the one thing this little town is missing is a Buc-ee's. They need one. I'd put it like right there. That would enhance the view 1,000%. Maybe even 2,000. I don't think we got a view from the other way from the gate, but that's pretty cool looking.
We haven't gone to that.
We were once up there looking down here. Now we're down here looking up there. Just left the fortress and saw a cool little pull off on the way. So I've done a bad job, but we had finished with our activities for the day. We had a pretty long drive to the hotel, and we were about halfway. We found a good hike, or allegedly a good hike, at the top of Mount Com, K-O-M. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Probably pronounced differently, whatever. And we're on our way up there right now. I don't know if we're gonna make it because it is very covered in snow, but we're gonna vibe it.
5:46 p.m.
I think it's dark till like 8:30 though. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated. Good view. Steep snowy terrain. Thankfully we got up here on the ridgeline and there's no more snow. Let's go. Pew 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 pew.
It's a lot more scary. Yeah, after seeing that, I'm way more.
Nick and I have made the executive decision based on the fact that I am bleeding from post-holing so much, and that's pretty far away and that's pretty low down, that we're going to turn around here. Didn't even know this hike existed till this morning. That view that way is amazing. The view the other way was amazing. And then we've got Sofia all the way down there. This is a great hike. And if it wasn't snowy, this would be sick. But we're both tired of post-holing. We might hit the little sub-peak over there because it looks real dry. We might not. It kind of depends on the vibe when we get over there. So, it's great hiking with you. It's great surfing with you, John. I'll be the first to admit, we dropped the ball. There's a second path. We went up that ridge. I did.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
We went up the ridge, but instead we could have stayed low, and we probably would not have been contending with nearly as much snow. Nick and I have decided it's a little bit too late in the day to be doing extra credit, so we're gonna head back to the car. But all in all, this is a great hike, good views, got some good exercise. And Yeah, we'll see you on the way down. This is by far the sketchiest part. He doesn't really look it, but like my phone is flat right now. Like it's some steep angle terrain. It's snowy. It's icy. The snow's reconsolidated. It's not slush anymore. Very slow. Very steady. Somebody went for a slide at some point. If this was slush, that would be so much fun. That's scary right now. But good views. We're pretty much through the no fall zone. So that's good. I mean, I'm through it. If I fell now, I'm not going off a cliff. Nick's like right there. I think he's almost good. Almost back down. Got past all the snow. Lots of times where the butts touched the ground. Overall, 10 out of 10. Vibes unparalleled. Look at these guys. They've come to greet us.
Did I put something in here that was yours?
Oh, we had that garbage water. No, I had the garbage water bottle.
Yeah. What did I put in here that was
They're mad at each other.
Oh, I pull it.
I'll say this, if you would come up top right now, it would be amazing.
Long drive. Late at night. Only thing open. Not impressed so far. Haven't even opened it. Wow. Hell yeah. Good morning from Padlov. We are going to walk to a monument and then we're going to pretty much immediately leave this town. I see our destination. It's all the way up there. This is the Boris Herstov the House of Culture. Seems interesting. We've done it. We've made it to the, and I'm going to butcher the name of this, and I'm sorry, the Anatolia Monument of the Red Army. So, got a good view of the city on this little lump. We've got some words that I don't know how to read. And we got this guy holding a gun. I wonder what type of gun. I think I know, but I'm not sure. And just for giggles, on this side, we have some people with their families, I guess. Men with guns on one side and family men on the other. Very hazy today. Tried to look up the air quality, see if it's fog or see if it's smog, and it didn't work, so I don't know. Maybe it's both. Let's see if we got any other good views. I mean, it's all pretty good views up here. It's actually a really cool view of the city. Okay, I was right. It's a PPSH. That's the gun. We went to a little bakery, got some bakery stuff. There's a cat on the roof over there. Hello, sir. I got this thing. Nick got more of those things. He says they're not as good as the first time.
No.
Because of they're not warm, but
And the other ones are like fluffier, lighter, more of a fun.
we're now at Essen, ASEN's Fortress. It was a paid parking lot that you don't have to pay for, so that started some confusion between us and a bunch of other people. Yeah. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. He's a little prickly pear guy. And those plants also look like other succulents. Then we've got this thing. Put it in the comments. I have no idea what it is. You tell me. Kind of feels like a catapult. Who knows? I doubt anybody's going to comment. Views are good. We're inside the little church now. Nick and I walked into this room. We're looking around. We're like, oh, okay. And then we looked in here and we're like, oh, all right. We got some frescoes. It's quite cool. Got a little dome. My lens looks a little greasy. We got some paintings. Pretty cool. A little bit of bonus information. The church was built in 1231, and in 1928, the only piece of this to ever collapse was the dome. So that's a little bit more modern. The old water reservoir. Wow, water reservoir. Tsar Ivan Asen made this inscription. I would like to know what it says. We'll get to that in a minute. Oh, it actually says, in summer of 6739, which means 1231 in our time, indict forth, exhalated by God, King Asen of the Bulgarians, Greeks, and other countries, put Alexei Sevasta and built this city. That feels like a really bad translation. But the interesting bit is that a Greek mayor in 1881 had this erased. Or sorry, 1883 had it erased, but then it was put back in 1899 because they were like, that was ridiculous. You can't be doing that. So it is a extraordinarily old thing that's now not an extraordinarily old thing. It's quite interesting. You can kind of see like where it used to stick out further. Neat. There's a little church off to the side, and we're gonna scope that one out now. The church is currently shut, which is a shame because we had to walk down a very big hill to get here. We just arrived to the Bakovo Monastery after much controversy. We got here. There's a bunch of men in vests. They tell you to park in a certain way. You ignore them because they're wrong. They just want to take your money. So then you drive past them, drive up the little touristy road, get to the gate. There you meet a man. He asks you for $2.50. You don't have cash. So then you go into town, go to the grocery store, find a funny parking spot, buy some snacks and some things, turn around, drive back up the hill. Of course, you went to the ATM. You got 50 euro bills. You got 2 of them. You go here, you hand it to the guy. He looks at you and he goes, I don't know what to do because I can only give you coins. So instead of taking his 20 euro coins, you now have to find something to purchase within the monastery because you owe him $2.50 and you need to break the 50. Otherwise, you will have lots of coins. We'll follow back up on that. Check out this monastery. Shell would absolutely die if she saw this. I can do this in my backyard. There is a second church in this one, and there's some stuff happening with demons and clergymen, a river of blood or something. See how big the tree is.
Crazy because like their stuff is still so grand. How do you see tree growth over time? Like every single day, does it just move this much?
Maybe. Maybe you don't see it. We left the monastery. The museum was closed, which was kind of a bummer. But there were these couple other churches in the parking lot. We're gonna scope those out because they look cool. It's the little church on top of the hill.
It looks like if you dropped your phone.
Thank you. That was a video. We found the bathrooms at the monastery, and I just wanted to take a little moment to appreciate the blue porcelain. I'm sure there's some toilet collector, this is a real thing, especially toilet lid collectors, real thing, promise, that would pay top dollar for this. We're on our way to the next historic site. We saw a little pull-off, nice mountains. I don't know if you can hear off in the distance though. We got some thunder. Oh, we got the lightning. Right when we pulled up, there was a crazy across the sky lightning sideways. Well, we better get going before this gets here. We are at the archaeological site. Let's prepare our climb, I think. And the weather, iffy. So we're trying to get up there. This was their old water reservoir. And approximately right at that transition there was a 3-foot long snake. So that's cool. She had a little bit more information to give you. There were lots of signs, but now they're all gone. This is the three-nave basilica. That's pretty cool. We're on a metal walkway, a little worried about lightning. A rendering of what it used to look like. That's pretty cool. I like that. Built in the 5th century AD, restored in the 7th to 8th century AD. The altar, a few other things are still preserved. It's pretty cool. Or at least the base of the altar. This is a Thracian altar. That clay thing is the altar. Apparently grows glass really well. We got some pots up there. Check those guys out. This is the altar. We've got a tiny family down there, which is it's a great place to bring your kids given the circumstance. Our basilica. And Nick zooming away because he's afraid of the weather. Turns out we're looking at something of a big boy here, let me tell you. So we're up on top of the Acropolis. Whatever's that way is coming towards us because that's the way the wind blows. I finally got a nice shot of the Bulgarian flag in the wind though. He ain't calming down for anybody, let me tell you. Looks like we got a church up here. We're going to limit our exposure on this metal platform. We're going to come up here for the view. Look at all that. Amazing. Actually super. Oh, words. So, update. It got really thunder and lightningy and we ran down. We did not get to see most of the city. We're gonna maybe sit here for a little bit, or maybe we're gonna come back in the future. So it is no joke been like 30 minutes and it is blue skies and nice, but we are also somewhere different and not on a mountain anymore. So yeah, I don't know. A little disappointed that we didn't get to see the rest of the thing given the weather's great now. But, oh, I gotta show you something. Holy Mother of God. It's the Holy Mother of God statue. This is the world's tallest statue of the Virgin Mary with Jesus. It is from 2003. I asked the lady if we could go inside, and then she just very grumpily stared at me, and I said, okie dokie, and I just walked away. So, I don't think we're going inside, but so there's a cool bell tower. It's all gated off, so you can't go in right now, but it's there. We got the city. Nick and I may have over-ordered on the pizza front. The larges were not much more than the smalls, so I got this guy. Apparently this is the most popular pizza they have here. So I would just like to point out that unlike some people, I'm not a quitter. I even ate one of this guy's pieces of pizza. You know what sounds good after a pizza? Climbing several flights of stairs. Good morning, everyone. We're driving to our first stop of the day, and there's clouds of bugs. They're everywhere. What is this? They're all over the back of this van. That's ridiculous. This isn't just the only spot, like they're all over. Good morning. We have arrived at Berg Latash, I think is how you would pronounce it. We're struggling with the Bulgarian names for things. So it is a ancient sanctuary built many, many, many years ago. There might be English on some of these signs. Yeah, there is. So we'll give you some more information. We're not 100% sure when they built it, based on reading all the signs. This aligns with constellations in the night sky as far back as 8300 BC. It was used until the 4th century AD. It was around and used for rituals during the Trojan War, and it's a megalithic Thracian sanctuary, as well as observatory. It seems kind of like a pile of rocks, but we're gonna get further into it. It's all gonna make sense. It's the Black Sea. We are failing to have context a little bit here, so we don't really know what's what, but it is cool to be in a, several millennium old sanctuary. That's the location of the most recently used building in the 4th century AD. I've Googled, I've learned more, I found a more clear and concise article about this. This was built in the 14th century BC and it was used up till the 5th century AD. all of the stones apparently were placed here, even the big ones, and they don't know how they did it, but everything here is intentional and was used to worship a sun goddess. So that's pretty cool. On our drive to our next stop, we happened to cross a Black Sea beach. It's kind of interesting. It like feels abandoned because off season and all that, but yeah, they say picture it didn't happen. I got my toes in the water, see, and it is frigid. There's a gigantic dog here. That's all for right now. We're gonna go to the Archaeological Museum of Sozopol, which is the town we're in. It's a little ocean seaside town from the Bronze Age era. It's been around for a very long time. Despite being open, the Archaeological Museum was closed, so we're just walking through the old town now. Some old archaeological buildings. Miniature church. Ocean. Oh, you missed it. Dang. The old fortress wall and the tower. The tower isn't all that special, but you know, I guess it doesn't need to be so high if you're just trying to protect the ocean. Alright, we're going through it. We're going through it together, guys. Here we go. Whoa. I'm enjoying our furry friends here. Also, closed. I guess, yeah. It's an upside down house
It looks real.
with an upside down car. The boat's not upside down though.
Where's the boat? Oh.
They also have apparently the World Championship tennis table. Interesting thing. It's closed, but interesting.
Kind of cool.
This is definitively a place. That's for sure. Check out the Volvo ambulance. A little ways down the road, we found a little fortress off the beaten path. And when I say off the beaten path, it was a very bumpy dirt gravel road to get here. And yeah, town of Chernomortis. It's kind of might be close to Dover. Do they? You ever been on the cliffs of Dover?
No, I've just seen pictures.
This guy's just talking out of his ass apparently. Look at that. So this is our fun little side quest. Wandered through. There's some World War II bunkers that we'll show you here shortly. But most importantly, look, there's our car. Got some old bunkers. World War. Got another little battery thing here. Wrong attire for this. And in here, you got a whole little hatch. It'd be cool to go down in there, but also probably actually not that interesting. This bunker had a cross on it at one point. Scope that one out.
So why not? Oh, they're all crumbling. Actually, you can't because look, they break off at the top, so you can't do it.
We went down the stairs and it's like the scene of a horror movie. How is it that dark? Again, the void. Nick and I have gotten a little bit too comfortable with the idea of exploring this. It's pretty interesting. I need to get my my headlamp out of the car if we're gonna do anything like this, but yeah, World War II bunker. A little bit more depth. I figured it was just gonna be some long hallways, but there's like stuff in here. Chimney. A little Bulgarian flag that could, or maybe couldn't. We are in the town of Nesebar, which is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site with maybe the largest parking lot I've ever seen in Europe. Yeah, so we're gonna check out all the sites and report back. That's the St. Pedevsky Church. And this is Archangels Michael and Gabriel Church. Built in the 13th century, in case you didn't hear, Nick. The Church of St. Sophia. So this, we've seen a lot of these like 3-nave basilica things. This is that. It's a bit of a supersized version, but this is what it looks like whenever it's done. So check that out. Nick and I are mildly underwhelmed about how much of a tourist trap it is, but it's still cool. Look, you can get some genuine Chinesium. So many cats. The cat Elisa.
Oh, look at this. Only
Magnets. Wow. I think we're definitively here in the off season, but that's okay. The cool old churches and chunks of history do make this worth the visit, though. I hope the archaeological museum is open when we walk by. It is funny that they have so many churches. Like, what is the reason? It turns out we actually can go into one of these churches, which is very exciting. This church is named St. Stephen's Church, and if what I read on the internet is true, it is from the 16th century, and it is quite cool looking.
It was built 11th century and reconstructed 11th. In the 16th century, it was long in the west, and the 18th, the narthex was added.
There's all these old tombstones from the like 1800 era, which is when the Ottomans would have been here. But I do wonder, you know, what they do with the graves. This one's 1808 or 1816. We have another church. It's courtesy brought to you in part by the United States, and I don't know anything about it. So let me pause and get back. It is named St. John's Church. We're not allowed to go in, even though there is information and things in here for us to learn. Got the church from down here. We got our amphitheater, which is like kind of a nothing burger. Old wall, other stuff. Yeah, Nick, what do you think? Tell me about Nespar.
Underwhelming? Off season?
Do you think it would be better in the on season?
Slightly.
At least everything would be open. Okay, we are at the Archaeological Museum. Now, wish us luck. The gate was open, so there's a chance. You're saying there's a chance. It's open. The Archaeological Museum. We've got anchors. We've got Thracian coins. We've got pots and pans. We've got Greek writing. This artifact is currently on display at the J. Paul Getty Museum of Los Angeles, California. Dang, that looks really cool. It's a shame we can't see it. Oh, wait. This museum, it's actually pretty big. Pretty big. We got one of those in Macedonia. Got the coin collection. We got Hadrian, everybody's favorite emperor. So many. Oh, that's not focusing. Oh my goodness. So we're in the town of Banya on our way to our hotel for tonight because the rest of our plans for the day have kind of gotten ruined because it's all rainy. And we were stopping at a little food cart style thing because they seem to consistently have the best reviews. So looks good. And most importantly, the Varna City Hall is pretty cool. Also, we're in Varna now. We're on our way to our hotel, and we're going to do a little bit of side questing afterwards. And they have the little traffic light things that show you how many seconds are left before they change. Oh, gotta go. After the shittiest parking situation, we've made it to our hotel that has a cool little balcony. Unfortunately, I don't know if that makes up for the shitty parking situation. There's like 4 spots. We had to block several blocks away, and we're pretty unsure about our parking, so hopefully that works out. Nick and I decided to brave the storm and go for one more monument today. Let me tell you, this does not have the presence on the phone that it does in real life, but welcome to the monument of Bulgarian Soviet friendship. As we get closer, it just gets bigger. It's kind of crazy. There's a good view the other way, but we'll save that for later. You want some creepy vibes. It's creepy in there.
Creepy hole.
Creepy hole. We got a snail. We got snails. This building's kind of crazy. That like point doesn't really come across on camera. Well, good morning. Nick and I have decided to take a little walk in the park before we actually start our day. Go check out another monument. And you'll be joining us for that. As part of this, there's also Cosmonauts Alley. So we have all these little statues for the cosmonauts, which is pretty cool. But there's a good statue here. You're gonna see that in a second. Here's our cool one. An actual cosmonaut in the flesh. We've made it back to the car here in the grand city of Varna. We're gonna drive 10 whole minutes down to a parking lot and then continue exploring Varna because this spot's actually not near anything and you have to start paying at 9 o'clock, and it is 9 o'clock. A Roman thermine, or the baths. Quite large. These are the public bathrooms beneath the bath.
So it's nothing like crazy, intense, but
This was the 4th largest bath in all of Europe. They used a different method for the underfloor heating. They have these little things rather than just the normal brick piles that they usually do. How cool is that? It's a crazy place to build your house, or whatever that is. This is the Archaeological Museum. Wow! So we're in the Neolithic era. Very old stuff. 5th millennium. It's all Copper Age, 5th millennium stuff still. So much of it. This is called the Goddess of the Lake, and they actually have a little version that you can get from the souvenir shop, so we might be going home with the Goddess of the Lake. I'll let you know. It seems like, based on what I'm reading, that Bulgaria had a lot more copper and Bronze Age settlements than anywhere else in like Southern Europe. We're in the Greek era now of Varna. The Greeks came and settled here. These are all from the 4th and 3rd century BC. We've made it into the Roman era. the fall of Rome in our journey. In the year 600, the town was burnt to ashes, and everybody left. And that was the end of the ancient city. We're in the treasure room now. Most of this is BC era. So we're now in the 7th century after the end of the Romans and back to the first Bulgarian kingdom. We're coming into the Christianity period. Unfortunately, right after this, that's when the Ottomans come. So, a little rough to get into the new religion. For our next stop, we're at the mall. But not just to go to the mall. We're actually going to the Retro Museum, which is in the mall. This is actually kind of insane. This part really sucks. Get it? Because it's vacuum cleaners. So many cameras. There's so much stuff here. I drove one of these in Berlin. We're about to go on a trip down memory lane. The old Cinquecento. Except this is his much more serious communist brother, the Polski Fiat. Equally garbage, but with the power of anything is possible. A transverse leaf, just like a Corvette. Had to take that off on mine. Again, terrible car. Can't recommend. Here's his even more communist brother. Hello. Oh, it actually says Polski Fiat on the front. Well, that one did too. The TVs and the radios. We got some Skodas. It's an Audi, comrade. Guys, it's the thing. That's what it used to say on it before all the words fell off. It kind of looks like a Volvo PV544, or I don't know what that looks like, but its name is Zuck.
This is the Zuck.
Yep. This gives me the I saw the Fiat 600 and copied its homeworks vibes, especially with the rear hinged doors. It's rear engine, air cooled, like, But rack and pinion steering, which is interesting. That also looks like a Fiat 600. Huh. Is that it? What is this? It's a Sofia roadside assistance vehicle. I translated inside. You're welcome. There's a lot of Ladas. Nick and I are apparently about to make a purchase of a Lada. This is the stacks of money you had when you were more equal than the rest. Those coins look fake though. Or maybe that's just a coin holder. Yeah, we just got to the Hall of Mosaics, or Museum of Mosaics. It looks really closed and slightly abandoned, but then there's this lady doing gardening over here, so maybe they're definitely closed. There's reviews from as long ago as a month that said that they had a great time here. So, but like, this looks like way more than a month worth of neglect. There's pictures from 7 months ago where this is all like beautifully manicured and everything. So we're a little confused. Going to the stone forest, which is apparently 50 million years old. You cannot see it from right here, but I thought this was it. So this is the stone forest. So what I got from the man in the visitor center is that there was sand and limestone, and the water penetrated through the limestone into the sand and kind of did what happens in caves and formed stalactites, and then erosion happened, and then we have a stone forest, and this is the only place in the world that has this, which is pretty neat. The cave thing, and then we've got these things. We've got them everywhere. Ignore the highway and the industrial area. This is really cool, but also it's not that cool. But it's really cool. It did get cooler. This did end up being a little bit cooler than I thought it was going to be. It's like a bunch of stalagmites, except we're not in a cave. This is the stone circle that some guy made in the 40s. And apparently if you come in here and you touch the rocks, all your negative energy will go away. And now, from this point forward, I shall be known as a happy-go-lucky chappy. We were also told to walk barefoot, so I'm doing it. And it's like walking on the beach, but it's cold. Also, check out that tan line. Be impressed. Be impressed. We just got to what we're calling the Fortress Obey, even though that's definitely not it. It's Ovich Fortress. We kind of went in the wrong side, so we got some stairs to do, but like, I don't know, seems like it could be cool. Used to be, and you'll never believe it, a church. Also, we made it to the top of the wall, so we're technically in the fortress now. And we have the town down below. Wow! After making it to the west gate, I think this is, it turns out all of the pathways up are some funny convoluted things, so it looks like we did okay. But it's a cool fortress above the city. Check out that church down there. Hang on. There's this cool boardwalk that you can walk up and get a cool photo of the entrance, but it's roped off right now, so we're kind of under the assumption that it's maybe not so safe to go up there. But basically, this was an old Roman fortress. It has 3 churches inside of it, and that's about all we know. It was continued to be used during the Byzantine times, but yeah, we are at a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Madura Horseman. And between us and it are a lot of stairs. So let's go. So here is our writer. It is from the 700s, after the end of Roman rule. It's the first Bulgarian king. It's the only relief of its kind in Europe. And it's been on the World Heritage List since 1979. And it's pretty neat. There's a little bit of a bonus here. There's a fortress and a tomb. We might see the tomb. We're a little lost. Not really, but like more of lost that we didn't actually prepare to come here. So I don't know what's here. The fortress is up here. Wow. It's steep. Neck for scale. Ladies and gentlemen, this one actually doesn't quit. We have already climbed an astonishing 306 feet. And I didn't start my watch until a few flights after the parking lot. We got a good view. We're at the top of the cliff now. A little like archaeological site thing down there. It's looking pretty good out here. We have arrived at the fortress. It was taken by the Turks in 1388. I don't know when it was built. It's an interesting and irregular shape because it forms to the contours of the mountain rather than being a specific shape. And it protected the 2 former capitals of Bulgaria. We got some fort over there. We got some fort over there. We got fort everywhere. We found the compulsory church, as every fortress is meant to have here. We're at the other end of the wall now. It is actually just a 400-foot tall cliff. I guess you didn't have to worry about your enemies scaling up here, though it did fall to the Turks at some point. The way down this one, a lot less fun than the way up. But the view is good. The view is good. We've made it to the caves now. Got our little cave here. It's a 1-bedroom. It's kind of like a studio. You know, we do our cooking right outside the front. It's a nice place. If I was living here 20,000 years ago, this would totally be the spot to have, let me tell you. There's a fortress up there. There's a little church thing here under the boulders. Got another cave. We're back down at the bottom and now looking up at the fort. Pretty crazy. That was our last planned stop for the day, which is good because it's like 7 o'clock. So we're gonna go to our hotel, get a dinner. Guess I got another pizza. Nick got a... Nick did pizza. Oh gosh, Nick. Good morning, brand new day. We drove to the top of a mountain and we're gonna go check out a monument. So get ready. It's the founders of the Bulgarian State Memorial Complex. That is a lot of concrete. Like so much concrete. This vaguely feels like something out of an Assassin's Creed video game.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow.
I feel like the 0.5 zoom really gives you the scale of what we're looking at here. Or maybe Nick does. The United States needs to take some notes on this. Imagine if they pulled something off like this with the Paul Revere and all the boys from the American Revolution in Boston. Just on the top of some hill somewhere.
You can learn this thing, so make up your set.
Yep. We just need to double down on concrete. This monument was built in 1981 to commemorate 1,300 years of the Bulgarian kingdom. It celebrates the rulers of the first Bulgarian kingdom and has sculptures of all of them. And it is, without a doubt, pretty cool. We are at a mosque. I don't remember the name of the mosque. Sorry. It's the Tumbal Mosque. Seems very interesting. This mosque was built in 1744 on May 4th, and it is the second largest in the Balkans and has never been closed for a day of prayer the entire time. The first floor is for the men to pray, the balcony is for the women, and it's pretty cool. This is the eastern gate to the town of Piliska. We came here for the church, stayed for the archaeological museum and site. The church is down that way. We haven't gone to it yet, but welcome. So, this used to be the capital of Bulgaria, and this is where the Bulgarians transitioned to Christianity. This is what the royal palace used to look like. Some guy named Krum lived here. This is the foundation. The palace burnt down, obviously, many moons ago. And it even had underground passageways, which is kind of cool. This was where the fortified residential palace was after this was the capital. So they built all of their walls on existing structures. And there's a cat over there and a weed macker man over here. This is where they built a palace residential building on the remains of an existing water reservoir.
How old is brickwork?
Nick would like me to point out how old the brickwork is. You could tell it was from the Roman times because they had central heating. This was the chapel, Nick and his guide are being shown around currently. This is, quote, the stone square with wooden fence and stand. This is the stone square. However, I do not see the wooden fence or stand. And I'm a little confused, Nick's a little confused why this is under a big canopy, but we'll take it. Here's an aerial view. They found some things. This city must have been gigantic back in the day because this wall goes the whole way around. And our tour guide was not allowed into the museum along with videos or photography, but she waited outside for us to pick us up. I think she's gonna want a tip. This is the Great Basilica Complex. This is its wall. This church was built a long time ago and was destroyed in 1865, but then rebuilt after getting rid of the pagan uprising in 875, and was one of the largest cathedrals in all of Europe at the time because it's massive. And that's it. I don't really have much more history. The scale of this is actually kind of insane. It looks like this may be rebuilt, but it's still kind of cool to get a sense of scale. We're gonna have to do a little research on the originality of this building. So this was a bit of a restoration project. You could tell kind of the new versus the old blocks, but it seems like, based on my Googling while we were here, the aim is to rebuild this entire building to be what it once was, which is pretty cool. I kind of support this idea. We are at our next site. It's an archaeological museum. I can't remember the name, but it's Abertus. Avertit? I don't know how you say this. Hang on. Abritus. Abritus, that's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it Abritus. There you go. So this started as a Roman military camp and then became a city center starting in 280. Museum. The guy walked around and talked to us about all the exhibits, and then no photos, unfortunately. But now we're going to the interactive museum, which maybe we'll have photos, probably, given the interactive thing. But I like all the artifacts being outside, but with these little glass shields to protect them. It's kind of cool. So, we're inside the fortress, and maybe, possibly, the most interesting fun fact about this fortress is that a Roman emperor died here, which is pretty crazy, considering how far we are from Rome. He's killed by the Goths, because the Goths wanted to take this over. And yeah, they actually built a factory on top of some of the ruins, and that's a representation of what the guard towers used to look like.
Decius?
Emperor Decius.
Was only alive for 2 years as emperor.
He did a bang-up job. Bang-up.
Actually, general, which is insane considering where he died and how he died.
Silly. This emperor was in 232.
Well, he reigned from 249 to 250.
This emperor that died was 249 to 251, so that's when their time period here, when the Goths were coming in with their nose piercings and their metal band t-shirts and their haircuts, and they came in here and they were like, bruh.
The father ever had asserted that the loss of one soldier seen.
We're up on the guard tower looking for Goths. We're not going to tell the emperor when they show up, though, because, you know, that guy's kind of a dick. So we're going to take care of him. But yeah, we're just up here. I'm going to light the smoke signal, let them know they head on in, get rid of that Decius chappy. So I was hungry, and it finally felt time. And it tastes fine.
Yeah?
But it feels weird, so I'm just going to do this. So chewy. So these are all Thracian burial mounds, and they're all over the place here, including the royal one, which is the one that we went to. They found this in the 1980s, and they actually excavated everything, built a concrete structure around it, and placed that in there, and then reburied it so it could be climate controlled and protected. It's the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to take photos inside. So I got these pictures from Google. So yeah, enjoy. It's very cool. 10 out of 10. Nick managed to pick the worst hotel bathroom I've ever seen. I've never seen a drop ceiling. We've got this contraption on the back of the toilet. Amazing. The rest of the room, pretty nice. Beds separable, which is very good. We've done good on that. We've checked into our hotel in Rus. We're going on a little adventure. Going down to the Danube, the Vienna of Bulgaria.
Yeah. You can definitely tell.
Yeah, it feels just like Vienna. We got like a block away from our hotel and it suddenly became much nicer. Nick, what are you doing with this hotel choice?
It was cheap.
The world's weirdest bathroom. Ah, we're only like a block away too. This kind of looks like the Ohio River. Nick says Louisville has one of the best waterfronts in the entire nation. It ranks in the top 4.
It's number 4.
I wonder how this bad boy would fit in there.
This kind of reminds me of St. Louis. Like when you get down from the arch.
Yeah.
Obviously the industrial area on the Illinois side.
Yeah. 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 Check out the giant churro monument. That's crazy.
Not even next.
Cool statue.
We've stumbled upon a little food truck fair in what's known as the Little Vienna of Bulgaria.
Yeah.
I have
Again,
some doubt.
similarities between, Louisville. I cannot believe how big this fair is. We found our way to Porky's Barbecue. I may have ordered an excessive amount of food here, but it looks really good, so that's exciting. This is the Pantheon of National Revival Heroes. It's pretty cool. The inside is the coolest part, but unfortunately it's dark and closed and doesn't open till late in the day, so we probably won't be going. Yeah, we actually just
Turn right.
happened to walk by it. We've got a good sunset. Maybe the sunset walk across the Danube would have been nice anyway. We were making fun of that earlier because it was a recommendation.
Good morning. We have stopped on the side of the street because Nick has ran into the bakery to get us some breakfast, and then we're on our way to a monastery and then a bunch of other stuff, so hold on. The first restaurant was not to his taste, so we found the second one that doesn't even exist on Google Maps in this tiny little town on our way to our first stop, which is very close by. We had cheese pastry. Nick apparently had a pizza with ricotta cheese on it. I don't know. This is the rock monastery of Saint Derminter, maybe, founded in the early 2nd century, which is the second Bulgarian kingdom. So we're up the hill inside of one of the little buildings. There's some birds in here.
Not as old as you.
This mosquito is insane.
He is huge. Our next stop is the Holy Virgin Church, hewn from the rocks far above us. So, we're here. Church from the 14th century in a rock. Not a rock, but a rock. So this church was part of a larger complex of churches that formed this monastery. This church was built in the 1300s and was the last one. There used to be a wooden walkway here that wrapped around, and the monks would enter this way because the church had to be oriented in this direction, and that's how they did it. And inside, there's still a ton of the original artwork. We are now at the Panorama Rock, right next to the church. We might not be at the Panorama Rock. That might be the Panorama Rock. We side quested. So we have all these canyons, but on top of them, there's farms. A quick ice cream bar break on our way to Pavlov. Welcome to Plevin's Panorama. Now, this was almost skipped, but I went on their website and I saw they have a cyclorama. Now, I don't know if you know what a cyclorama is, but when we went to Gettysburg, we saw a cyclorama, and it was really cool because effectively it is the 1800s version of watching a movie. This one is for the war for Bulgarian independence in 1877, and outside they have a bunch of cannons that are actually shaped a bit differently than I've ever seen. They look more like artillery guns rather than cannons, which is very interesting indeed. So I was correct. These are not cannons because the bores are rifled. So these are more of an artillery shell style.
Yeah, I don't know how you would set up, but this would be the perfect type of situation.
We've got American Gatling guns being used by the Russians to liberate the Bulgarians. Nick and I are now affirmatively experts on the Bulgarian War of Independence from the Ottomans, and we'll tell you more about that in a second. So, the Bulgarian War of Independence, 1877. Oh God, I already forgot the year. The Russians and the Bulgarians teamed up and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to get rid of the silly little Ottomans for you, because at the time they were Ottoman ruled. So the Russians came down with many, many, many soldiers, fought many battles over the course of a couple of years. Here in Pavlov, they had a battle for the town, which is a very important commercial hub. The Russians initially on the first and second battles lost. Third battle they won. The Ottomans were very mad about this. So then 100,000 Russian troops triumphantly went over the mountains in that direction to Sofia, and then took the capital and liberated the country. And then they just became besties until who knows when. This is a panorama. We couldn't take pictures inside. I'm going to include some right now, probably while I'm talking over this. And it has a cyclorama like we saw at Gettysburg. It was painted in 1977 along with the construction of the building. And it has cool dioramas as you go up the stairs, as well as a lot of American-made guns that were being used by the Russians and the Bulgarians and the Romanians, as well as a lot of German-made guns that were being used by the Ottomans. This was the first use of the Gatling guns in Europe, which is pretty cool. They were built specifically for the Russian army. They had 12 of them. And yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and we'll see you in the next one. Next stop, this fortress. Look,
For
a 3D model.
8.
Look, a 40. The guided tours are crazy here, I guess. No way that fits through the gate. Oh, folding in the mirror. This is Baldwin's Tower. Look, it's Park Mini Bulgaria. It looks extra mini from up here. You got all sorts of stuff. You got the airport. You got a building. stuff. Wow. This is different. So that church was rebuilt during the 1980s, which is during the socialist era of Bulgaria, which kind of makes sense why the artwork looks the way that it does. It's very interesting. You'll see behind me, that church. They are currently in the process of rebuilding that one. We walked over to the church on the other side of town. For our last stop of the day, we were visiting one final monastery. We got some cool cliffs, yada yada yada. We're actually debating on coming here or not. It was only a 12-minute detour, so I'm really glad we did. Oh, that church is really cool too. Look at that. They have peacocks at this one as well. Look at that. It's been such a while since we were in Macedonia and saw our peacocks. They also have chickens and a sheep. Holy, hang on. Hello, sir. Look at this guy. It's so photogenic. Honestly, I love the sod aesthetic. It's returning to the earth. Apparently there's a cave. We're in Bulgaria on its 150th birthday for the Third Kingdom. I didn't even think about that. Very exciting for them. There's this cool monument just up the road from the monastery. We need more stuff like this in the United States. We just checked into our hotel and now we're on a quest to go get dinner. Also, there's a tour. We're getting dinner. These were amazing. Now we have garlic bread and potatoes. And then got 2 Coke Zeros. What do you think?
Is it?
What do you think?
Good so far.
We saw a sign, or we saw this on top of the mountain, and Nick said, we must go. So then we turned up the road. The road's closed. You have to take the stairs. "12 minutes, 378 feet of gain later, we are at the top. Check that guy out off in the distance. You'll see more of him soon. We've got cannons, a lion, a flying saucer, Nick's head, an obelisk, a flagpole, a monument down there a bit, more cannons. Cool place. Climbed out to the little rocky outcrop. We got that. We got some snow-peaked mountains. That was on my list of things to do. And guess what? It's not anymore. I'll come back for it because I like this country. And we got our old socialist era monument. Quite cool. We made our way to our next stop, which is this cool church. I cannot hear anything because my ears will not pop. And it's getting to a point of being a concern. We're now visiting some Thracian tombs. There's 3 of them at this site. They're all royal tombs. And it's gonna be pretty cool. So this one was built in the 5th century BC and was unearthed in the 90s. It's reasonably small in here, but it's got a cool dome. We're in the little Thracian igloo. The entrance might have been the star of the show.
It's interesting, how we care for those versus there.
Mm-hmm. Our second mound tomb is called Helvetica. It was built in the 4th century BC. And you're going to see it live
door sliders.
I heard. This one's a little bit more enclosed. More of a point. Interesting. We're coming up on what I believe is the star of the show, the Big Tomb. I told you we'd come back for it later. Please see the earlier portion of our video for more information about the tower. Nick thinks the graffiti adds to it. I think it takes away. All of the water dripping down from this thing is strange. I'm the little hill next to it. Nick is complaining about the placement of the sun, which I get. It's pretty cool though.
We met a bunch of Americans. Thought we were crazy for wearing shorts.
Yeah.
They all had puffers.
Yeah, and one of them was named Nick because we realized they were Americans because it was like, Nick, why is everywhere we take or you take us uphill? And I looked over at Nick and I was like, you know these guys? Nick made a very inappropriate joke right as two women walked around the corner. That's what he's choosing to believe didn't happen. Nick found the good view down here. For no reason at all. Let's zoom all the way in. The ear is still a problem, but we got KFC about it and some cold medicine. We have now arrived at the Defenders of Stara Zagora Monument. And believe it or not, it's also about the Russian-Ottoman War for Bulgarian independence. We got some Roman ruins in the center of town that are effectively a park. This is a crazy flavor. So we got to our parking garage in our hotel for the night. Kind of a creepy parking garage, but we saw maybe the most outlandish license plate I think I've ever seen on a car in my entire life.
It's from Great Britain too.